Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Train Simulator 2020 video. Now, first thing I should mention, I really hope you can tell the difference in my mic quality. I have got a new microphone for those who are interested. I have the Blue Yeti, and it's a lovely microphone, and I really hope that you can all see the difference, because
I'm not sure I understand.
And my Siri is going off. Good start to a video. Right, so anyway, after that, today we are back in Train Sim, and we are driving the Class 175 unit from Holyhead down to Manchester Piccadilly. This video will be split up into a few parts because I don't like doing long train sim videos, so it might just be under it. Probably, I think it's about 90 minutes down to Chester, and then another hour, so it's about 2.5 hours, so it'll probably be split into like 3 parts ish, I'd say. Yeah, so this is our train for today, 175 Due to extra capacity, Transport for Wales have decided to put a sprinter on the back, which is an interesting choice. So that means we will be limited to 75 all the way down to Manchester. We'll just unpause the game. So let's get the doors open and get the train set up. I'll go through what we're calling in a sec. So DRA off. We need to put the master key in and put it in to neutral. Turn the AWS off. Sorry. Then we just put any number in here and control 1. Then we need to control 2, and we want 1134 for Manchester Piccadilly, and when that should then come up on the front. There we go. So that's that set up. Then we can put it into forward. I think that's everything ready to go, really. Oh no, we do want the saloon lights on as well, and headlights. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just record it all in one go, and then I'll split it up in videos. So I'll do like a voiceover for the intro, so you can, tell, because I've not decided where I'll split it yet. It'll definitely be at stations though. So this line includes 2 maps. It'll include 2 maps, sorry. We will start off on the North Wales coastal to Holyhead, at the Holyhead to Crewe map. I forgot the control, there it is. Stopping at Roost. I am just sorry to any people who speak Welsh or live in Wales watching. I will pronounce these wrong, and I am very sorry. We are stopping at Rosinger, T Crows, Bodorgan, Bangor, Llandudno Junction, Colwyn Bay, Abigail Penzance, Rhyl, Prestatyn, Flint, and Chester. We will then go on to I'll just set off while I'm talking about this. We will then go on to, just wait for the signal bell. There we go. We will then go on to the South Lancashire and North Cheshire lines, and drive from Chester to Manchester Piccadilly. Now the only difference is, from the real life scenario, well, the real life route I should say, sorry, is that this service stops at Runcorn East. We can't stop at Runcorn East because the South Lancashire and North Cheshire lines is set in the 80s. It doesn't have some of the modern stations on, so unfortunately on this run we can't stop at Runcorn East. But we will be stopping at Helsby, Frodsham, Warrington Bank Quay, Earlstown, Newtonley Willows, and then straight up to Manchester Piccadilly. So it is going to be, it's about a 2.5 hour run, and it'll be a nice one. I do like this line. North Wales Coastal is one of my favourite routes in train sim. It's such a nice map. And then the South Lancashire lines is really nice as well on the routes that work. Because I did want to do a Wigan to Staley Bridge service, but unfortunately the Hindley lines don't work. But I've got quite a few more things planned with that map. Sorry, so I've got a Liverpool to Blackpool North service planned, Windermere to Manchester Piccadilly. I know the Windermere services do terminate it on at what's it called? I can't think what it's called, Manchester Airport, but unfortunately we don't have Manchester Airport yet. So it will be terminating at Manchester Piccadilly. But it'll be, we'll just say like a landslip or something. Now, because it is such a long route, I haven't put AI in, especially on the South Lancashire lines, because it's a very, very temperamental map, and I really don't want it to crash. So I haven't put AI in for that reason. But obviously you'll see the cars driving around, and honestly, it's just like, it's a really nice map. We can just look at it. Here's the little sprinter on the back. So the reason this is here is due to extra capacity for social distancing. A little touch. Obviously this is filmed during the coronavirus pandemic, so most train services are putting extra trains on for thingy, and as the Manchester Piccadilly services are usually quite busy, it has got that in the back. This is the AP sound pack, or enhancement pack, on this train, I should mention, and the 150 on the back is also obviously powerhouse, as it's the 150-2. Yeah, I do like the 175. It's probably a really nice train, and I really like it in the Transport for Wales livery. In fact, I think the Transport for Wales livery suits most trains it goes on to, and I'm just so glad that we've not done what Stagecoach does, not put black thread ones, because with the black thread ones it just breaks the white up and it looks really, really nice. My one criticism with this train is how far forward you are sat in the cab, and unfortunately you can't, oh actually no, you can change that. If I go into my options and go to, oh, is it not there? Oh no, camera options. If I put my field of view out a bit, there we go. You can see a bit more of the cab now. So I will just put the F3 hood on, just because I'm not confident at stopping. Everything else I don't need on the hood. It's just the whole stopping malarkey. I like knowing where things are. So like I say, this route is limited to 75, obviously due to the fact that there is the sprinter on the back, and as it's a 150 we can't go above 75, but we should I did drive the bit between Chester and Manchester, like I say, just to test that the map works properly and stuff, and to be honest we was early to most stops, so I'm thinking we'll be okay. I'm hoping it just might be the North Wales bit where we're late for, but we'll probably make it up a bit. So it's just a nice chillax drive. But to be honest, most of this line is at 75 anyway. Like there's a bit between Bangor and Llandudno where it goes up to 90, and there's a bit somewhere else up to 90. It's a really nice bit of mountains. Yeah, there's a bit somewhere else that goes to 90. But apart from that, oh, and when before Warrington, when we joined the West Coast Main Line, it goes up to 100. But apart from that, it's pretty much 75 all the way to Manchester. So I did have to just say that home now, just for that level crossing. I do love how flat that is. It's quite funny because like the North Wales coast is quite mountainous, but then you go into Anglesey and it's just flat. And I am familiar with this line. I've never been to, I might have been once to Holyhead. I mainly just went between like Llandudno and Prestatyn on the train. did use the 175s quite a lot, and they are very comfortable trains to ride. Like, they are really nice trains. And I'm just quite surprised that I've never done this route on my... Or rather, I feel like I have, now I say that. Like, I feel like there's a little bit inside of me what feels like I have done this route. No, I know I've definitely not done to Holyhead, but it doesn't look like I have. It's not my trains in playlist anyway. So yeah, I have got, like I say, I have got quite a few things planned. I've got this included. I have got about 33 videos planned on just Train Sim and OMSI. That's not including streams either. So I have got lots of things planned. It's just getting them recorded and done. And obviously, for those who didn't know, I have gone into year 11 now. So starting from the 21st, we have 45-minute revision sessions after school as well. So that'll take me to 4 o'clock. So I am definitely getting a lot busier. So I know, obviously, I know my channel isn't the most active channel in the world, but I did try and make it more active. It just kind of flopped again. But what's it called? Yeah, I do. The my videos when I can record them, it'll be. And I know I've always said videos when I can record them, because I don't like the fact of making a schedule and then when I'm not motivated to do a video, just doing a video for the sake of it, but then it turning out awful because I really didn't want to do it. I just did it for the sake of doing it. So we are just going to apply a step 1 brake application, I think, to slow down into Rosengerder. Probably said that wrong. This train does have really good brakes. Like, really, really good brakes. See, look, we're already down to 55 from 75, so we're just going to knock off the brakes a bit. So let me know what you guys prefer. Do you prefer the Arriva Cowhorn livery? Oh, there we go, this livery. Do you prefer the Transport for Wales livery, or I think it's the revamped Arriva livery, the one where it's like pretty much all blue. Because I really like the I like the Cowhorn livery. That's my favourite Arriva livery, but I think I prefer the Transport for Wales livery. It just looks a lot smarter. Now, a couple of the stations along here, we don't actually fit on. That is because this train is meant to be run by probably a 3-car 175. We can, on most stations, we can get all 3 cars of the 175 plus one of the cars of the Sprinter. So we have slightly overshot that platform, but it doesn't matter because we'll just say it's because of the length of the train. So, yeah, really, them doors should open, really, because they can open. Yeah, so here, T-Crows you can't fit on, Bodorgan you can't fit on, Bangor you can, Llandudno Junction you can, Colwyn Bay you can, Abigail and Penzance I'm not sure about actually. Rail will easily fit, Prestatyn again, Flint, I think so, and Chester will easily fit. And then onto the SLANC run. Now I know a lot of the stations were built for 5-car on here, so we should fit on them all. There's one though that it may have been Frodsham that you can't fit on. Earlstown I know is really tight. Newton Le Willows I don't think you can get on either. You can get on most of them. We'll be alright anyway. Like I say, this service isn't normally 5 cars. They've just put a 5 cars on for social distancing. Let's go. So, in rail news, what's it called? Grand Central has pulled the Blackpool North service. That's not happening anymore, which I'm gutted about because I was really looking forward to seeing that coming through Wigan at full pelt at 90 miles an hour, because that would have been the only passenger train going through Wigan. I was looking forward to that, but they've pulled the service. Now I'm thinking, I don't know whether this isn't being confirmed or anything, but I reckon Virgin will take that over, because Virgin was looking to do a service from from Liverpool to London. So I reckon that Virgin will take that over. I don't know. I don't even know. They might just scrap the service altogether, because to be fair, there is a London Euston service already. Yeah, Blackpool North service from London Euston already, which is run by Avanti, but the Grand Central one was running North Express. It'd be nice if it ran, but I don't know. I think if anyone will take it over, it'll be what's its face? Virgin. Come to rear its ugly head again. Start to slow down for Crows. I don't know whether that's how you pronounce it. I'm sure we'll get some people in the comments angry at me because I pronounced it wrong. I need more brakes. Yeah, I need more brakes. Why is the brakes like awful? What the hell? We're going uphill as well. I'm not sure what's happening with the train. But man, this is 100% brakes. Right, well we was meant to stop there, but apparently we're not stopping there now. Not quite sure what's happened then. It's just like lost grip. Not sure why I did that though. Okay. We'll just say there was an unexploded World War II bomb, so we had to pass through. There's also an unexploded World War II bomb at Runcorn East, and that's why we didn't stop there. Let me just brake test this. There we go. It's really quite bizarre. Just like didn't brake at all. Please forgive me about that. I did try and brake. I did put actually 100% brake on then, but it just didn't stop for some reason. So, I've not got Train Sim World 2, but let me know your opinions about it. I've heard good and bad things about it, so I'm not gonna produce my opinion until I've actually played it. But I don't think I'll be buying it unless it's cheap on sale. I'll probably get Train Sim 2021 though, even though I have most of the routes in it. I've got West Coast Mainline South, but not the dovetail version, the Alan Thompson one. It'd just be the 5 circle line that I'd buy it for, but I always like getting the new ones anyway. So I'll probably get Trains in 2021. And then we've got Bus in 2021 coming out, but that's in 2021. That's not coming soon. That looks quite nice. There's an American map and a revamped version of this Springfield, or no, that's Simpsons Spring View. I don't know what it was called. The one that was in the version that we've got now, the 2020 version. No, 2018 version. There's a revamped map of that and an American map. Plus, we are getting E500s and E200 MMCs, which will be quite nice. Looking forward to driving that. Bring it to a stop. Like I say, we do not fit on. Well, I mean, if you really insisted on getting on, I mean, you could easily get on that door, but if you insisted on getting on at that door, you could actually make it up that step. We are slightly early though here because of the bit of a skippage that happened. Which, I mean, as much as I would like to say it was my fault and admit that, I am not counting that as my fault, because at the end of the day I did actually try and stop. I put 100% brake on, but it just didn't stop. Didn't want to stop. Does this have a foot crossing? Oh, what's that? Ah, yeah. I was going to say, because how do they get across the line? There's no footbridge. I thought the foot crossing was. So I believe I am the first person to ever do the full route. On YouTube, I'm the first person to ever do the full route from Holyhead to Manchester Piccadilly. I could be wrong, but I have not seen any other videos, so hopefully, so maybe I might attract new people in this. And if you are new to the channel, if you have just found the channel through this video, please subscribe. I do some regular train content, and I do try and bring some unique, more unique videos, like for example, where everyone else drives the West Coast Main Line the East Coast Main Line, sorry, in a HST or a 91 or an IET. I drove it in Mallard, so you do get to see some more, you know, interesting videos. Yeah, you do get to see some more interesting videos. So do subscribe. So what? The Class 175 train numbers: Llanelli, Transport for Wales, Bristol Parkway, Bristol Temple Meads, Rail, Cardiff Central, Maesteg, Tenby, Swansea, Fishguard Harbour, Milford Haven, Clanford PG, that's Clanford, Porthwing, Gilliger, Shilleyburg, Bilderberg, go, Gloucester, one speed. Flint, Holyhead, Manchester Airport, Stockport, London Junction, Blackpool North, London, Manchester Oxford, Piccadilly, Ebbo Vale, Cheltenham Spa, Abergrin, Abergavenny, Special, not in service, Windermere, Wrexham General, Wigan North Western, Birmingham New Street, Carmarthen, Bangor, Whitland, Shrewsbury, Havenford West, Crewe, Warrington Bank Quay, Preston Chester, Lime Street, Newport, and Pembroke Dock. Well, I can assure you that Transport for Wales do not go to Windermere or Wigan North Western. I think that's... I don't... Do they do Manchester Airport? I didn't know they did Manchester Airport, to be honest. No. I thought every Transport for Wales service did this. I could be wrong. I'm just going to have to put a bit of power on because we are going up a large hill. I should say gradient, really. We're going to have to put more power on. Yep, they do Manchester Airport trains. I've just checked. There are trains from London to Manchester Airport. I did not know that. I'm going to put more power on. But I definitely know they don't come to Wigan North Western. Or Windermere. Really north and that goes to Windermere now. Apart from that, I'm not 100% sure. I know they go to Birmingham because there's Birmingham services from Holyhead, which if there is the line, I will do. I don't know if it's direct. I don't know what line there is in. So if there is the line to Birmingham from Crewe/Chester, I don't actually know which way it goes. Then I shall do that line. I don't mind. And a video, sorry, I should say. And if you do want to see any train routes in, or trains to be driven in Train Sim, do let me know in the comments because I can add them to the list. I've just picked routes that I like driving and added them to the list, so obviously that doesn't fit everyone. So if you like any specific routes, then do let me know and I can add them to the list for future. So for these parts, I'm going to split them, I think, into between half an hour. Well, I'll do them up to an hour, and then if they're over an hour, then I'll split them. I think. No, if they're over an hour and a half, then I'll split them, I think. But let me know if that's too long, if you would. So if it's like an hour and 35 minutes, then I'll split that in. If it's an hour and 30 minutes, sorry, then I'll split that into two 45-minute videos. But do let me know if that's too long for you. If you would. See, the problem with that though is you've then got to if it's like watch an hour and 20 minutes, if that's the length of the route or something like that. Or do you, because I can split them up, or some people, like me, I'd rather watch the full route in one video, for example, so I would sit here and watch all 2.5 hours of this route. I mean, I wouldn't because it's got my voice in, but yeah, you catch me adrift. can't stand listening to my own voice. But if it was someone else who had done this route, then I would happily sit there for the 2.5 hours and watch. But I know not everyone is like that. Some people prefer shorter videos, so let us know and I can change it up. If you only want them to be like half an hour, then I can do that for you. It'd just probably be like, if they're every half an hour, they might be like twice a week, so it might be like, I don't know, like Wednesday and Saturday, for example, and then the next following Wednesday. But it'd never be exactly, say, half an hour, because if it depends on the run. I'm not going to just cut off halfway through the route. It would end at a station, like. Heading for Bangor. We will shortly. Obviously, Bangor is off the island of Anglesey, so we will have to go over the. I can never remember the name of it. The big bridge that I can never remember the name of. The big one. We'll have to slow down for 40 to go over that though. What's the name of the bridge called? We'll start braking. I believe. Brake. This is actually SLANC for Porthway. There we go. SLAN via Pool Gwyn Gil Goge O'Quirin Drob Ul Llandues Ilo Go. Nailed it, 100%. Fantastic station name. We have to get a screenshot here, won't we? Have to get a screenshot here. Actually need to like brake for Bangor. Sorry, the 40 limit. That's the one that I was thinking of. It's the. No, it's not the Menai Bridge, is it? That's the other one. That's the suspension bridge. Britannia Bridge. That's the one. I did know it, I just couldn't think about it, the name. So Britannia Bridge is actually a really cool bridge. I don't know how many other bridges in the country have a train line go underneath an A road to get across. Because it's probably not the only one, but it is a very, very cool bridge, and it's such a good idea because instead of building two bridges, you just use underneath of the main road, and when you're driving on top, you don't realise that there's actually a train going underneath. And you probably could have even double track it. It's just probably because it's probably just because of the weight restriction, I'd imagine. It is a very cool design. I'm a big fan of Britannia Bridge. Big fan. So I do want to bleed this map dry. I do want to do quite a few runs on this. So I want to do 1 to Festiniog. Like I say, I'll do the Birmingham run if I can. I might do Piccadilly. You can. I think there's Lime Street services. I'll do a Lime Street service as well. I just want to do, like, I love the North Wales Coastal. but I might do, like, for example, Manchester Piccadilly to Llandudno instead of doing the same route back. That was a mistake. Completely forgot to knock off the accelerator then. So we are approaching Bangor. I do need to remember there is a 15 limit going into Bangor. I always forget that it's there coming at like 30 and nearly flip the train upside down. Do need to remember that. So we are approximately from Chester 60 miles away, which isn't actually that bad really. We'll accelerate up to 50. We are a mile out of Bangor, so we do have to slow down for 15 going into Bangor. That Morpeth Road was for me, but I'm alright yet. Slow down about 0.5 miles away. Right, we'll apply the notch 1 brake application. Just a nice gentle braking into Bangor through the tunnel. This is what always gets me, it's like there's a tunnel and then you forget the station's approaching and then all of a sudden you're in the station and you're doing like 50 miles an hour and then you've got to try to negotiate a 15 bit of track at like double the speed limit. So that was pretty fun. Nice gentle stop into Bangor. Oh, braking. So, in regards of, I know this isn't an OMSI video, so I'll do the OMSI news in another OMSI video, just so for people who are not trained, people who are not OMSI fans. Well, no, I'll do the OMSI news, but for people who are not not trained in fans but OMSI fans, they don't miss out. That's a nice shot coming in like that. Yes, Add-on London has been announced. It's not got a release date yet, but it has had a trailer made by, believe it's made by Elliot on it, and it does look nice, but it looks nice for a map made in like 2015. However, there are some areas that I think just don't look great. Like there was one screenshot that Elliot included of a bridge. I believe it was London Bridge, but I could be wrong. I'm not from that area, so I have no idea. But I believe it was London Bridge, and the bridge pillars look not pillars, what they call bridge feet, look absolutely awful. They look like just textures pinched from street maps, and it's not a great look, to be honest, especially payware wise. Like when you've paid for something, I'm not bothered about street view textures when I'm on a free map, but when you're on a payware map, you do expect your own textures and stuff. And the buses do look a bit cartoony, but I am excited to drive the Evo 30. I think that'll be a nice bus. So I will buy it, but I'm not. I was never expecting it to be my cup of tea really anyway, because I'm not bothered about a London map, to be honest. But I can imagine for the people who live in London, it's very expensive. and for all the London maps that are coming out, you can finally have some like good quality London buses for AI. Gap the brakes. Over accelerating, leaving Bangor. And into the darkness we go. And then when the back end's in, we can go 75. There we go. Acceleration. So the next stop is London. Sorry, not London. No, I'll get told off. Llandudno Junction, which is about 15 miles away. We do have to go through Conway, or Conway Station is probably one of my favourite stations on the entirety of the network. It's so nice. Just the fact that it's like in a castle, and you just have to wiggle through a castle and go over that big bridge. Oh, it's such a nice one. The only thing that could improve Conway, like the Conway bit of the line, is that you look at, what's it called, through the bridge. On the bridge, it's not like inside of a tunnel. It's like a tunnel bridge. It's more like an open bridge, so you can actually see out and look at the scenery and stuff. That would make it even nicer. Just have a bit of a sit in the passenger saloon for a little bit. Like I said, these trains are actually really, really nice. The only thing that lets them down compared to a Sprinter, and I know the 158s that run this line, well, I know you get the odd 150 and stuff on it, but it's mainly 175 and 158. The only thing that lets it down to the 158 is the fact that they're in like no open windows, that there are no open windows. But then again, you do have the I think it has aircon anyway, so kind of swings around that some people do prefer an opening window compared to aircon. I'm not forced to tilted down beyond. So, how's everyone's back to school? It's not really good, but it's not like worse than it's been pretty decent. What platform am I scheduled in at Cheshire? 4. The only downside about using the AP version of this of this train compared to the standard version is that the cruise control doesn't work unless there's a what's it called, a button that I've missed, but I can't see anything in the manual. And it's quite sad really, because I liked the cruise control aspect. Just drop off the power a little bit. We are approaching the line limit. And we've just dipped. Excuse me. We have just dipped to 10 miles to London. We are due in half a minute early. So this is based off the real 1307 service from Holyhead to Piccadilly. It is, what's it called? It's, like I say, the only difference is the fact that it would stop at Runcorn East. We won't be stopping at Runcorn East, and we didn't stop at Crows, or however you pronounce it, but that was not my fault, that was a train issue. Where it just decided to not brake all of a sudden. It was not his fault. So I don't know what the top speed of this train actually is, the 175 that is, whether the 150 is 75, because it doesn't actually say. I don't know if it's 90 or 100, but obviously we can't go above 75. I think it's 90, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh, bit of AWS now. Only for the with speed reduction. That's like land work or something. I don't know. So we are back at the side of what I believe is the A55, which runs all the way from the M56. The M56 turns into the A55, which runs all the way to Anglesey then. Nice. Over the little crossing. A really nice little line back on the A55 again. Under one of the steepest roads, bridges that you ever see. I don't actually know what this station is. It is yeah, that. Straight through. Like a boss. Strange. Yeah, don't even worry, I'm not going to say that again. Here we are, about 5 hours now. That's the market board for the upcoming 55 limits. We will just start braking now. I can't believe we've already been going for 50 minutes. We're not even at London yet. Mad. Through this tunnel that for some reason you can only go 55 in. Not sure why that is, but apparently that's how it works. And we can now go 75 again, so speed up. Basically, for most of North Wales coast, the line just follows the A65. It's only about like Piccadilly and Piccadilly when it starts to where but before that, it's, well, between Holyhead and Piccadilly, it's mainly just following that. Do you need to brake for the 45 limit? I believe this is due to Conway Platform and Conway, like, curves and stuff. Don't need that much brake, just lay off the brakes a bit. Yeah, London Junction has now appeared on the map. So we are going into, well, under Conway now. This is the Conway Platform. One of the more stranger horns that I've done. We'll just go over here to the bridge. It's always fun standing in these arches here on the castle, watching the trains go by. Sorry, nuclear train go by. These ones go by. Sorry, nuclear train go by. And I was train spotting there, like carrying nuclear waste or a nuclear reactor or whatever it is. Just starts to slow it down for the 30 limit in. Coming into London Junction. Because we are on platform 1, so we do have to get right across to the other side of the station. But there's obviously the London branch, which is also a really nice route following the estuary to London. Now at appropriate speed. We have arrived here bang on time, actually. So it's good. We will have to stop at the S car marker as there is no 5 car marker here. Stop. There we go. Just shy of the S car marker. So we leave here at 59, is it? Yep. So we leave in like 2.5 minutes. So if you need to, we'll make a brew or next level or something, because we're just gonna stay here for a minute. So this is like I say, this is probably my favourite map on Train Sim. The only bit that I don't like driving on this map is from Chester to Crewe. I don't know why, I just really don't like that bit to drive. I just prefer driving well, to Chester and then up to Piccadilly from there, if I've got like a spare 3 hours in an afternoon. Anyway, we are leaving Colwyn Bay, leaving Llandudno Junction now. Ready for Colwyn Bay. The stations do become a bit closer together to until Prestatyn down here, and then at Prestatyn it kind of spreads out then to Flint and then to Chester, and then after that it becomes pretty much a stopper. Now this is actually timetabled. I did not realise the speed was 25. This is actually timetabled as an express passenger, but personally I don't think it is. So we're only actually like 45 miles out of Chester now. Yeah, personally I don't think it is an express passenger.
I'm not sure I understand.
Who asked you? I'd say it's either a semi-express or a stopping passenger. Because yeah, it doesn't stop everywhere, but it also doesn't fly through everywhere at like 400 miles an hour. Like if it went Holyhead, Bangor, Llandudno, Rill, Chester, Manchester Piccadilly, no, Warrington, then Manchester Piccadilly, then I don't understand it being called an express passenger, but without it doing that, I think it should be a stopping passenger. Right, up to 85, well, 75 we go. So see what I mean, you are, even though you are stopping everywhere, you are actually on time. So this is the bit of the line that I'm more familiar with now. like I say, we are back at the side of the A55 again now. We pretty much follow this line all the way and then the A55 goes. Start braking for our Holyhead. Start braking on step 1, brake application for Conway. To a nice gentle stop. I'm trying to drive like actually professionally, and it is working so far. Like there was only that crows, but that was the brakes on the train, it weren't me. It just didn't stop, it just carried on going. Just gonna have to knock it up to like minus 20% brakes because we are at 40. I'd rather come in at like 30ish. There's the Virgin 5 car marker. We want the 6 car marker because we're not Virgin. And there we go, here we are at Conway Bay. Slightly overshot the 6 car marker there, but it's not an issue. We'd actually come into here 19 seconds late, which is not very good really. The next stop is Piccadilly and Penzance, or if Jack the Game is watching this, Piccadilly and Penzance. Which is like 6 miles away. Then Rill is like 10 miles, that's like 4 miles in between. And Prestata is 13, so that's like 3 miles in between. Then Flint is yeah 27, so that's when it gets a bit bigger the gap, and then it's 40 miles to Chester. Quick swig of a drink. Some of the sections of track on this line that could easily be 125 for the voyages. or 100. Like this bit is completely straight. Yeah, just come out of that I can never remember the name of. Still along the seafront. Right, it's not north of the coast. Like, this is so much better than Conway, because I can't even think of the little bit what is near the seafront. Most of this line is along the seafront. We are doing 80 miles an hour actually. And so the poor sprinter can keep up. Sorry if I'm not speaking very much, really, by the way. I'm just trying, I don't want to say everything in like one go while it's like 3 hours long. So 2 miles out to Abigail, which also from Abigail and Head down you can see Gwynch Castle, I believe it's called. It's like Gwynch or something like that. And Gwynch Castle is what they are filming I'm a Celebrity 2020. It's supposed to be haunted by a white lady who sits in the window and just waves at you or something. Knock off the power. Not in Memento. When it gets to about 0.75 miles, we will start to apply the brakes. Back up to 20%. Abigail and Penzance is another really nice station. Just bringing it nice and slowly and gently into Abigail. we are at Piccadilly and Penzance. That is a pretty good platform, that. In fact, that is one of the best platforms I think I've ever seen. And we are now leaving here for Rill. Back up to 75 we go for Rill. I believe we've been going for an hour and 12 minutes, that's pretty impressive. We're up to 50 miles an hour. This train does actually accelerate quite fast. It's a train. I don't show you the castle. Like here. We are approaching Rill, so we are just there. But we'll just idle, I think. Just idle. And we'll start the brake in a minute. I think Rudland's up there. Into Rill. Slowing right down. I like coming at the platform at about 30 miles an hour. Well, below 30. So just stopping at Rill. Just look for the marker. Should be a little bit further down the platform, I'd imagine. So we're just gonna knock off the brakes. There's the 3 and 4 car marker. So we are just going to stop it here because even though it's Virgin, it's still a 5 car marker, so just stop here. And we fit under the canopy pretty much perfect. That's good. Keep his heads dry. It's not raining. We know that fact. Well, so we arrived into Rill. Oh, actually came into Rill like 2 minutes late. Right, we're going to have to do quick acceleration, brake really late on this one I think, because we are running late, we're apparently 3 minutes late, which isn't good. I wonder what you can do on this. But you can't do anything, I don't think, while you're driving. Straight up to 75 miles an hour. Now you can do 90 on this stretch of line, but we won't be able to do 90 because of this blasted sprinter on the back. We're just, the reason that's there is because it was supposed to be a 158, and a 158 put down. Just say. I can't believe we've been going for an hour and 20 minutes. I'm really impressed at it. It's actually mad. I only thought this was a 90-minute run, but we've still got another like 30 miles to go. Manchester, that's just to Chester. Between Chester and Manchester there is actually say how many miles it is. We'll start to break about 0.5 miles, I think, because we're now 8 seconds late to press starting. We are running slightly behind. the memories on processing platforms. Oh, sugar. That's the end of the platform. Oh, well done. That was really clever, that race. Really clever. Really, really clever. How much is actually on? One car, brilliant. Right. You could get on these doors, but it's been sticking slightly on. Yeah, that wasn't one of my best stops. I don't understand how I failed so bad. Because it's not reflected now. Anyway, carry on. We are 13 miles out of Flint, so should we do an announcement? We'll do so welcome aboard this Transport for Wales service to Manchester, calling at Flint, Chester, Helsby, Frodsham, Runcorn, Warrington by Key, Earlstown, Newton the Willows, and Manchester Piccadilly. Due to an unexploded World War II bomb, this train will not stop at Runcorn East. Thank you for travelling with Transport for Wales. The next station will be Flint. When leaving the train, please remember to take all of your belongings with you and mind the gap between the train and the platform edge. I could never be an enunciator for a train, because when I was on the train I heard my own voice and just like, God. We are due to Flint 3 minutes late as well, so we are running approximately 3 minutes late. We should knock off the power because we are at 78. Crossing coming up. Yep, there's the crossing. We approaching. This will be Talaka or Most. I can never pronounce it. Unused station, I believe. It's Talaka? It is Talaka. A lovely beach from here. Is this just yards though? I bet there's like a ferry port or something. Maybe. Maybe it is. Cool shots. flybys. We got any cool flybys in 4-view? Just mainly. So we're now no longer at the side of the A55, and we now from this point basically follow. Oh, it's the. I can't remember what I think it is. Put above me. I'll think of it. I'll think of it. Don't tell me. A548, I believe it's called, or the A549. All the way through to just after Flint. I love the fact that this area starts so close up to us. We kind of break away from the A54. We are still pretty much all the way to so that like the wheels don't fall off of the Sprint. Oh, there's the really old bolt. There's plans to turn this boat into a hotel, but it just kind of sits here, and you can see it from the road because the road's here. And everyone, you always look at it, you always know. When we always saw that, we always knew we went to far from Preston, and then it just kind of sits there. Not doing anything. I didn't know that was actually in Trenton. I've never seen that before. Boston, I believe. Oh no, this is Holyhead. I'm getting so confused. There's another station that is abandoned. which is Holyhead. That could still be used if it's like that nick in real life. It looks like it's a pretty good nick. I've never really used this bit of the line. I've normally really gone press that into like rill or press that into Clendon on the train or the Holyhead road. Apart from that, I've never really gone this way. You always drove down to press that in. That's where the caravan was. Drove down to press that in and got the train. Where that garage is there now, there's like probably a junction. Got the beach on the left. Flint is now 1.5 miles away. We are really due in a minute late, so that's going to be made up quite a bit of time. So it's fun. Brake for Flint. Ready to stop. This time we're not going to overshoot. There's the platforms. Here we are at Flint. Again, I'm going to stop at the VT 5-car marker because it makes sense. Still a 5-car marker when it's in Voyager or me. Here we are at Flint. We did arrive a minute and 20 seconds late, so we have caught up like 3 minutes, which is nice. Always good fun. Buzz the guard. And then we've got another 12 miles to Chester, where we will have to change maps, but I am gonna record that tomorrow because, not gonna lie, I cannot be bothered and I don't want to sound like I'm half asleep in the video. So I just go downstairs with a brew and watch some Bad Education, I think. We are due in actually like 4 minutes late to Chester. What time are we due at? We are to Chester at 51 and 30 seconds, so we're literally due in and then 30 seconds and then out again. Chester, there'll be announcements going now. So we apologise that the 1447 Manchester Piccadilly service. We apologise that the 1447 Transport for Wales service to Manchester Piccadilly is running approximately 4 minutes late. This is due to a shocking drive. Will apologises for any inconvenience caused. I hope you enjoyed the train benching episode as well. I have another 2 done. I've got a 319 and 17. 331 that's 2 different ones done. I've got trains at Leyland recorded, that just needs editing. I've got the Britannia and the Royal Scot at Wigan North Western. Plus, well, the Royal Scot at Leyland will go into the Leyland clip video. Then we've got the Royal Scot and Britannia at Wigan. That'll be a video of its own. Then there'll be the train tip videos, the honest videos, and then I've got the Route 10 and Route 8. The Route 10 I'm having issues with. The 8 I've not even started editing yet. The 10 I'm having issues with the stabilising warp. It's not. You just keep saying failed every single time, which is really winding me up. Because otherwise you'll get the vibration off the engine, so I apologise if it goes up. I apologise about if it's shaky. That's just the vibration off the engine, and I've not been able to get around that. This is Shotton, I believe. Yes, it is. Shotton low level. Shotton, there is Shotton high level up here. The platform is down here. I don't know what line that's on. Does it say on the map like portal to somewhere? Horden and Demarsh. I don't know what line that's on there. There might be Transport for Wales. I shall have a look. Speed, just knock off the power. Sorry, I'm just looking what runs from Shocking Island. Bidston to Wrexham. The trains that run that line with Bidston. It's on the other side of Liverpool. Very nice. Now we all know what runs Shocking Island. We're only 5 miles out of Chester. Gone quick. Felt like it took forever to get to like Rit, and then once we got to Rit, it's really quick. We went for an hour and 44 minutes. So this will probably get cut down into either like 3 just over half an hour clips or 2 hour long routes. So also what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload it. I'm going to upload all the parts of it, but then for those who don't have much time to sit down and watch a full video, I am going to upload the time lapse of the route as well. So I'll just mute the audio, just stick some music on in the background, just do a time lapse. It might be like, it depends how fast it is, because obviously if it's 3 hours long, which it roughly will be the full route, it's going to be, to get it to 10 minutes, it's going to have to be me doing quick maths here, it's going to have to be, I think 18 times speed. That might be a little bit too fast, so it may be like a 20-minute time lapse or a half an hour time lapse, but it's better. For people who don't have as much time, it's better than 3 hours. So the time lapses will only be on longer routes. If it's a short route, then that won't happen because I'm not making a time lapse of an half an hour video. It'd only probably be if it's like a couple of hours long, I'll do a time lapse where there's like more than 3 parts or something. I shall do a time lapse. Anyway, we are approaching Chester. We are only 2.5 miles out. We are going to have to start braking for this 50 zone now. I don't think we've had a marked board, but we might have done, and I've just ignored it. I don't know, there's a marked board. I didn't think we'd had one. Wow, that is not much time for braking, really. It's really dropping 25. be more tracks when I'm on here. Also like a bit of different sidings. Need a tad bit more brakes. Just to drop it down a couple more miles an hour. Shooting 50. It's gonna be like 50 and then immediately I'm more close to 30, I'd imagine. Coming into Cheshire. Right, there's no marker code for this, which is really nice. It's very helpful. Coming into platform 4, Chester. Weird Chester station because it's like in the middle of like 4 tracks that all go off in opposite directions. I just 9 and pause brake it a sec and send to player. Like look, you've got a line going that way, a line going that way, a line going that way, a line going that way. It's quite cool, I like it. Just add dab more brake on. You may see a jump in scenery when we switch onto the new map. That's just because this is obviously the new Chester station. The old one is set in the 80s, like I say, on the South Lancashire and North Cheshire lines. So I apologise for that. If the train isn't in the same location, I will try and line it up. But I'm not promising anything, and the scenery, like I say, will change. Bring it to a stop though. Right, so we are in the new map now. There may have been a bit of a jump in time. I have tried to make it line up as good as possible. Also, the scenery might have changed slightly, and the position of the train. There's nothing really I can do about it. I have tried to get everything to line up as best as possible, but you know, there's not much you can do when it's a completely different map. So I apologise if there's any slight jumps or anything. Also, you will notice that in this version in the 80s, Chester platform 3 and 4 was actually split into A and B. So effectively it's 4 platforms. So we are parked in the middle of 4A in B, like we are bang on in the middle. So before anyone starts complaining saying you're parked in the middle of a platform, it's because I've tried to make it line up as seamlessly as I can from the last map. So I'm just treating this as all one platform, because obviously, like I said in the previous bit and on the previous map, this map is set in the 80s, so a lot of the scenery will have changed from then, sorry, compared to now. So you'll just have to bear with me, but it's the closest we've got to this. It's the best we've got for this line, and it's still a really nice map. So I do apologise about that, but you know, swings and roundabouts. Like I say, so on this map we are calling at Chester, Helsby, Frodsham, then it should be Runcorn East, however we can't stop there because it's not on the map. Warrington Mankey, Earlston, or Earlstown, however you want to pronounce it, Newton Willows, and Manchester Piccadilly. It is quite a big map, if I just show you. So you've got down to Chester, and you've got all the way up to Preston on the West Coast Main Line. So basically you can do Warrington Mankey to, what's it called, Preston. We've got Manchester Piccadilly and Victoria over here, with Miles Platting and Park. Doesn't go to like Staley Bridge or anything, it just generally stays in this area. But some of the lines aren't fully completed, so for example, if I find Wigan, which is this station, should be anyway, this line from Wigan North Western along the Hindley lines to Manchester Victoria, which is there, hasn't got scenery on. So I wanted to do a Staley Bridge service where I change map in Victoria onto the Huddersfield line and then up to Staley Bridge. However, that's had to be scrapped because there's no scenery and I'm not driving just in emptiness. It's just rubbish. Anyway, our doors are closing now, so we can depart for Helsby. There we go, and off we go. So I have already set the train up and stuff just to try and keep the transition as seamless as possible, but let me know what you think of this, because I'm trying to go back into it because I don't know where I'm going to split the video. I don't know whether I'm splitting it into part 2 or 3 or whatever, however many parts there is at Chester, or whether this is going to be in one part, this transition. So that's why I've tried to do it as seamless as possible. But let me know if you... Oh, thanks for warning me about the 15 game. Really appreciated that. I'm just going to say it's 30. No, I'm very kidding you. Yeah, let me know what you think, whether you would like... Try again. Whether you'd prefer this to be in like a separate video where we split maps and then reset up the train again, or you like the pretty seamless transition. I don't know which is the correct word. I don't even know what I'm going on about now. I just thought it'd be interesting for a video from Holyhead to Manchester Piccadilly, because it's something I've not seen on train sim before, and it's nice. Yeah, when I type it in on YouTube, all that comes up is Holyhead to Chester. So it's quite nice that we will introduce this map, because I've not actually seen any videos of SLANC, and it is a nice map. On the lines that do actually work, it is a nice map. Some of the lines are a bit dodgy, but it is a nice map. It's just it takes a long time to load. Like when I loaded into this, it took 10 minutes, which is pretty poor. But when I've been loading at Wigan North Western, for example, it's sometimes taken me 40-50 minutes to load into the train to the game, which is just, it's not great when it's like a half an hour run and it's taking you longer to load in. So like I say, I do apologise, and please don't moan at me in the comments saying, oh well, this station's not accurate and this station isn't, because the chances are it is for the 80s, it's just not for nowadays. And like I say, this map is a bit more laggy, so I apologise if the frame rate's a bit poorer than North Wales Coastal on this map. Obviously a lot of these signals and stuff will be like LED signals now, as opposed to what they called semaphore signals. But like I say, the map is set in the 80s, so it is very outdated. But I don't know about a modern version of the map being worked on, so we'll definitely. I know obviously there's the missing link of, so there are a lot of issues, like for example then where there's a massive hole in the side of the map. But yeah, I know there's the missing link being worked on from Warrington to Preston for the West Coast Main Line. But apart from that, that's it for the Manchester map. Though there's the Manchester Victoria to Huddersfield, I believe, is being extended up to like Leeds. But apart from that, that's not it for the North West. If you do know of any lines being worked on around the North West, do let me know. But like I've said before, I do plan to do quite a bit with this map, because most of the lines that I've driven on it do work. So for example, I know this line works. I can do a Liverpool line street to Liverpool line street to Wigan North Western service via Bryn. They work. Liverpool line street to Blackpool North. I can do Liverpool Lime Street to Glasgow in Trans-Pennine Express. I can do Manchester, Windermere to Piccadilly. It'd have to be terminating Piccadilly rather than Manchester Airport Road. But this map, I have got quite a few things planned with it, because it does open a lot of windows around the northwest areas. The only thing is, it doesn't go like Stockport way, so I can't do because it doesn't go Stockport way. Like Stockport is, I believe, like somewhere down here. Yeah, put Stockport down. So Stockport, the trains come round the back here, and do Chester Northern trains and come around the back into Crewe and stuff. So I can't do anything like that because we don't stop. If you are suggesting routes around the northwest, please bear in mind that it doesn't go Stockport way. Also, I can't do like Manchester to Blackpool North via Bolton. There's no Bolton in the map either. It's basically nothing that goes via Stockport or Bolton, and anything else, if it's not in the map, then just I can let you know if you suggest it. We'll start to break in a minute for Helsby. This train up to Warrington Bank Quay does become quite a stopping service, and then after Warrington it starts to, it's express then basically. Well, it does stop at Earlston, then new to the village. It needs to say in Earlston because it's Earlstown. Near the M56, but we pretty much follow that then to Warrington. So there will be no Morpeth boards or anything because I don't believe the network had Morpeth boards in the 80s. I could be wrong. Please do correct me if I'm wrong. Or they weren't as like used. They weren't used as often. Oh no, it did have Morpeth boards because it was just passable. They're just the old style Morpeth boards. They're like the speed limit with an arrow underneath. So we don't actually fit onto Helsby. We will have. Well, I think we do fit, but we don't. Like, we do get all doors on, but because the back coach is slightly hanging off, Trenton won't count it. Unfortunately. And bring it to a halt. There's stuff like with the issues in the map. There's stuff like this where there's a big hole in the platform. But remember, it is a free map at the end of the day. So yeah, that door should open, and this one, I suppose you could, if you're feeling adventurous, you could get up that, but you're not really supposed to. But this is Helsby. One thing I've not done actually is turned the. Ooh, I've not turned the destination indicator on. There we go. I do like driving. Apparently my Desti has gone off. And it's done that because there we go, back on. Yeah, this is a really nice map, and it's a shame that it doesn't actually get used because, like I say, I've not seen any videos of it on YouTube. it is, like I say, it is really nice. And you can do so much with it around the northwest. I do like bringing this like stuff on trains in that you don't see as often. So, because I just think it's just nicer, isn't it, than keep doing the same stuff that everyone else does. Do more different, like do different routes. What routes has this line got around the Preston area? Is it literally just Preston? It's not got Swampscott or anything. It's Preston. Yeah, it doesn't. I thought it might go to Swampscott or something. In fact, does this have Euxton, Bolshaw Lane? Because I know it'll have Leyland, I'd imagine. That'll be Leyland, yeah. Does it have Euxton, or that's the portal to Bolton? That's Euxton portal. That's Euxton Bolshaw Lane, but it's just portals, doesn't actually get anything. That's quite sad. And bear in mind, this map is free, and it comes with all that, all lines. So I know some of them not finished, but you can drive with all these lines. And I mean, I know it's set in the 80s, but it still does the same thing. The only places that you'll see the main differences is places like Liverpool and Chester, not Chester, Manchester. Because I don't know whether Liverpool is electrified in this. It might be on the West Coast main line, but I don't know how much of it is electrified. So if I did Edinburgh to Glasgow, it couldn't be in a 379. I just break. Which one is it? Is it 397 or 379? I can't think now. The Civity anyway. Because that's all electric, it'd probably have to be in an IET or a 68. 397 is. But I can do it in an IET. I've not driven the IET on my channel, on the channel yet, so that could be a stream or a video. I'd have to see how long it is, because I think anything that'll take more than 3 hours on Train to be able to do is a stream, and then 3 hours will be about my limit for videos. Obviously, it won't be uploaded as 3 hours. It'll be split into parts. The only thing we do in streams is when you're on different maps, you have to include the bits like where you switch in maps. The good thing about doing it as a video is that you can cut them bits out so it looks more seamless. It looks like you're just driving the full thing. I am still planning on doing well, I want to do Paddington to Cardiff first in probably a Castle class, a GWR Castle class, and then what's it called? Eventually I'll do Penzance to Paddington in a, I think I'll do that in a King, but well, I need to do it in an HST anyway, because I might do it in an IET. I don't know now. How long does the TPE service take from Liverpool to Glasgow? Let me have a look. From Liverpool to Glasgow. have a look. Right, that's so at 8:12 you leave Liverpool and you get there for 11:35. So that's 9:12, 10:12, 11:12. So it's just over 3 hours. So that I might do that. That could be a video or a stream. Either. I'd have to have a think about that. But yeah, because this map you can't do loads with, so it just depends if coming out of Liverpool onto the West Coast main line is electrified, because I think the Glasgow services go via Newton Le Willows and I don't believe that's electrified in this version. But we can check because we're going via Newton Le Willows on this video, so. Because I don't think Liverpool Lime Street got electrified until like 2015 or something like that. Let's have a look. Liverpool Lime Street. Now this is off Wikipedia, so I apologise if it's wrong. Oh. Fun fact about Liverpool Lime Street, it is the oldest still operating Grand Terminus mainline station in the world, because it opened in 1836, that's a whistleboard. It's pretty impressive. I am speeding. Knock off the accelerator. Known as Merseyrail. In October 2003, the Pendolino service operated by Virgin Rail was ceremonially unveiled at the station. So if Pendolinos were there in 2003, then it must have been electrified. In May 2015, the electrification of the former Liverpool and Manchester Railway route was completed, as well as the line to Wigan via St Helens Central. So yeah, it must have. So it might have to be an IET then, as the route up to Edinburgh, because I don't think the line. I know the West Coast main line from Preston to Wigan is electrified. I don't think the way I don't think Liverpool to Wigan is electrified, so but I'll have to find that out. I'll have to have a look, and if it's not to worry, we'll just do it in an IET. The 802s are by moon, I think, so or we could do it in a 68. We could do Penzance to Paddington in an IET and that in a 68. I'm not bothered, I'll leave that up to you guys. What would you rather me do? Liverpool to Glasgow in a IET or Penzance to Paddington in an IET? do either. So we are heading. Oh, actually, we are going over the top of the West Coast Main Line now. I don't know. Yeah, heading for Warrington back through there. Where this 50 limit is, I believe, is when we join the West Coast Main Line. Yeah, just keep it to 50%. Just to try to get my speed up. We are doing Warrington. We're actually doing Warrington 4 minutes early, so we don't actually need to put the speed up. We'll just go to the We are going through an abandoned platform now. I don't know what station this would have been. This may have been Runcorn actually. We'll just start to gradually put a brake while we're running so early. Because obviously when we're on the west coast we will have to go pretty much full power because obviously we don't want to be holding up pendolinos that I haven't passed. We are merging onto the West Coast Main Line now. I did not see us go over the top of it. We did go over the top of it. You probably saw it yourself, but I was just clearly blind. So obviously we need to get onto the very left. The West Coast Main Line is only double track. Little feather leaf showing you there. Feather leaf? What's it called? Feather. It's just feather. I don't know why I said leaf as well. Merging across the West Coast Main Line now onto the northbound track. Or I believe the West Coast Main Line is actually backwards. I think it's the down track goes north and the up track goes south. I don't know why it works like that. It's confusing. I think it's because all tracks heading into London are down tracks. Up tracks, sorry. It doesn't make much sense. Oh, I didn't just speed up. I don't know why this train's so better today. The last one. I don't know why that sounds a lot nicer. So a lot of these empty fields that you see on this map are probably housing estates now. We'll just slow down for this 30 limit coming up. I apologise about the lag, it is just loading in Warrington, I'd imagine. Just in time for the 30, we are going to have to slow down a little bit faster though for the... Yeah, we're slightly speeding here, apologise about that. Slightly overestimated the brakes up at 175. Here we are at Warrington. Now, Warrington has changed a lot since now, obviously, but it's still a dump. Warrington Banking. So we will just aim to stop at the end of the canopy. Obviously, in the 80s there were no S-car markers and stuff, so you just have to, well, there probably was, but not at every station, well, at most stations like there is now, so you just have to guesstimate where to stop. So we're just going to aim it for about here. I can't actually remember from when I was at Warrington Bank Quay where TFW trains stopped, but you wouldn't have got 5-car trains anyway, but plenty of canopy room. You could have actually stopped about the centre of the canopy, but plenty of room. So we do have a bit of a wait at Warrington. We've got about 4 minutes. So for those who don't know, this is the Warrington Chemical Factory, right next to the mainline station, which is always a lovely sight. And Warrington Bank Quay is actually really far out of the town centre of Warrington. Bank Quay is more in an industrial estate. Warrington Central, which is along this line, I'd imagine, is more in the town centre. Somewhere down here. Nope. Warrington Central must be... Ah, there's Warrington Central. So Warrington Central is here, and the interchange is on... The bus interchange is on one of these sides now. I'd imagine it's this side. I can't actually remember that. And then Bank Quay is all the way over here. So it is a bit of a nightmare for people commuting wise. They probably, though, whereas this station I'd imagine would probably have been built after, so obviously they put Bank Quay on the main line. This bus makes me laugh here though. This bus from Warrington is going to Llandudno and Blaenau Festiniog from Warrington. That'd be an interesting journey. Also the polys on this must be awful. Quite nicely modelled though. Looks better than some of the omnibuses. I know it has been reduced in polys. You can see the wheels where they're not like really smooth, but obviously all the AI cars and stuff are set in the 80s, and this is now I was going to say Virgin owned station, but Avanti West Coast owned station, so really this would be branded for Avanti West Coast in real life. And you have, when we went on the 7th of December down here, we stood between these two buildings, and there's a big poster. This building's gone. There's a big poster there now saying well, it did say hello, welcome to Avanti West Coast, or whatever the poster was. I like this platform, it intrigues me. It's only tiny, probably get a 2-car Sprinter and maybe a 3-car push. It's only a tiny platform, but I like it, quirky. That's not there anymore now. That platform has just got fences on this side of platform 3. Yeah. It's like this side of platform 3, there's just fences, and that doesn't exist anymore. So we are nearly ready to go. Well, actually, no, we shouldn't be. What time do we leave? No, we've got another, like, a minute yet. Yeah, so Warrington Bank Quay is basically just in a big industrial estate. If you want a good karting, like go-karting track though, there's a bit in this building here. You go round the side of some freight yards off this bridge. You go round the side of the freight yards, and underneath here, which would be a belting place of train spotting if you stood like here, and you come around here, park here. This is a big go-karting track, and it's where I got concussion from. It was great. Really nice track though. If you're into go-karting, definitely recommend. And it's not too far of a walk from the train station if you wanted to go on the train. Anyway, doors closing. Warrington Bank key. Buzz the guard, and off we pop. I'll just do a bit of an interior view leaving Warrington. So obviously the majority of all these industrial estates and stuff has changed, but there are still some of the old mills here. We shall accelerate up to 80 miles an hour. So we are still on the West Coast Main Line now. We head up to the Manchester Junction, where I was going to say where the Pendolinos go round, but the Pendolinos don't actually turn off here because the platform at Earlstown, I would imagine, will be far too tight for a Pendolino. And plus they come into the terminating platforms at Manchester Piccadilly, where the lines that go through Newton the Willows go into platform 13 and 14. So I believe the Manchester Piccadilly services come off the West Coast Main Line around Stoke, I think. I don't know if this is supposed to be a slow line and it's a fast line, so I probably should have passed it on the slow line. Not 100% sure. Yeah, ready to press Q. Dealt with the AWS. You do need to slow down for the junction at Earlstown, like coming off the main line. Start to slow the brake for the upcoming 50 limit. We are due into Earlstown a minute early basically, so just gradually slow down. 250 miles an hour. think we should have used the slow line really there, but it doesn't matter. And we shall speed up to 70 miles an hour. Apologise about the drop in frames. It'll pick back up in a second. There we go. Going back up again. Back to 30. No, we won't actually be speeding up for that much because we don't have a 20 limit coming up for Earlstown because it's a very, very tight platform. It is on a bend, like a really tight bend. So we will start braking for that in a second. I'm pressing Q. Are you having a laugh? I have just pressed Q. Well, that wasn't my fault. I was pressing Q then. Apologies about that, guys. I did press Q. I don't know why it didn't work. It might have been because of the lag that was happening. I'll just accelerate to 20 miles an hour there. We are running early anyway, so it's not really a big issue. Down to 20 miles an hour. So I always imagine Earlstown as quite a small junction, quite a small station. It's actually really big, but it's not big, but it's got 5 platforms, so pretty big. Now if I can line this up perfectly, you can just get 5 cars on here. Listen to a bit of that flange squeal. Stop. I've got the back on as well. There we are. Oh no, slightly off. You can get it on. But a little bit more forward. Oh, good thing I managed to do it bang on you yesterday when I was test driving it. Well, I'm having that anyway because the doors are on. They could open the doors. Yeah, Earlstown isn't actually. This line isn't electrified. It's electrified from the West Coast Main Line, by the looks of things. But Liverpool isn't electrified. I don't know how far this goes. It might go all the way to Goulburn Junction on the West Coast Main Line and then stop. But and we don't actually have a 397 anyway, so I couldn't do it in that. It would just be in the if I did it in an A2, I think TPE use. It would be in pantograph mode, not by mode. But leaving Newton the Willows. No, sorry. Heading for Newton the Willows, leaving Earlstown. And you brake. Newton the Willows isn't very far away. And then it'll be non-stop then to Manchester Piccadilly, which will take about 25 minutes to get to. Are you running on time? Pretty much. So this is Newton the Willows. Newton the Willows has been completely done up recently. That might have been in 2015 actually, when they electrified this, well, I know it was electrified back in the 80s, but when they did a lot of work on the Liverpool to Manchester line. Again, you could open that door if you thingy. Like this now is a big bus station here, and the station looks like nice, like really modern and stuff. Is this another bus to Landed now? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, a lot of buses around here to Landed now. Very interesting in the distance, but it's facing the wrong way in all the train, to be honest. So we are about to leave Newton the Willows. See, I'm surprised because I thought this service stopped at Manchester Oxford Road, but it doesn't. Maybe some services stop at Oxford Road. This one definitely doesn't. Because this is following the real life timetable of 1H89. Which was the 1307 service from Holyhead. And arrived into Manchester Piccadilly for 5 to 4. So that junction is what I was on about for the West Coast Main Line. Yeah, it is. This is the West Coast Main Line here. It's not on the road. West Coast Main Line is somewhere around the other side of the junction. Oh, here's the West Coast Main Line. Apologies. So they've just linked they've just they electrified. Basically, they died. It must be in case there's any issues ever on the West Coast Main Line, so they could have sent electric trains via Earlstown. But I don't ready to get a Piccadilly in November. We'd have to do either an 802, like I said, we don't have a 397 we'd have to do an 802 or a 68 service to Glasgow, or we can do down from Glasgow to whichever would be sure we can still have to do 68. To you in the comments. For some reason this stretched line is 60 miles an hour, I'm not sure why. It must be a level crossing or something coming up. Yep, there is. Another toot of the horn. That's incredibly cringe. Accelerate up to 75 mph. We are currently 12 miles out of Manchester Piccadilly. If I remember, I will link the links to. I can't give you the North Wales coastal map because that's been taken off Steam. Because they can't. And before anyone commenting, can you send me the North Wales coastal map? Because I can't get. You can't get it on Steam. No. The reason you can't get it on Steam is because when Arriva Trains Wales went no more, when their contract ceased. That not ceased, ran out, and the Welsh government took over. Dovetail lost the rights to use Arriva's logos in maps, so because of that they had to remove them. But obviously the author never updated the map to remove the logos. So because of that, Dovetail has just kept it permanently off Steam, so they don't end up being sued. Same with the 390 that got removed as well, due to when Virgin left, Dovetail lost the licensing, so they had to be removed. Just have to add a dab of brakes to slow down to 60. This is basically what happens all the way to Deansgate now. It's just up and down 60 to 70. Just up and down and up and down and up and down. These are my favourite routes to drive, like semi-express / stopping services. I don't not like them, but I just prefer stopping to like just flying through everywhere at 125 mile an hour. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to have it's nice to do an express route every now and again, but I would rather drive a stopping service like this. I don't know why, I just think it's quite satisfying. I don't know how many miles we've done though in this video. Not 100% sure actually. Just had a bit more power. What was I checking then? Just dab of brakes. It's 120 miles in the car, like by motorways and stuff. So I will find out how far it is railway wise, and I will add it in the description. It'll say like, today we drive 140 miles from Holyhead to Manchester Piccadilly or something like that. Over, that'll probably be the M6, imagine. Now speed up to 75 again. Nope, I stand corrected. I believe that is the M62 or the M6. No, it would be the M62, I'd imagine. Yeah, fairly sure it would be the M62. That. Where this housing estate starts, this is like coming into Manchester basically. This is Eccles and Salford area. horn is just completely failing. Oh, there we go. Proper horn. Oh, slightly speeding. I believe this is the M602, I think. Anyway. I cannot remember then. I do need to put a bit of power up. Speed back up to 75. We are only 3.5 miles out of Manchester though now. We are getting incredibly close. That 25 limit will be coming into Deansgate. We do need to actually brake for that, obviously. So this railway, well, from where we got on at Newtonley Willows, well, at Earlstown, would have been one of the first railways to ever be built in Britain. It's mad, that, isn't it? Like, this and the one by Warrington Central, I believe, was the first ever railway in Britain. What Stephenson's rocket ran on all them years ago, 1830 something it was, I believe. Height of the Industrial Revolution. I'm actually going to start to brake because I don't think there's a lot of this. I know we're just approaching it now. You got to remember that these Morpeth boards give you far much too much time to brake because they are designed for like local haul services, stuff that ran in the 80s. Which obviously wouldn't have as good brakes as our stuff. So we are actually due into Manchester Piccadilly at 6 minutes early, which for platform 13 and 14 would just be banned. Platform 13 and 14 are ludicrously busy. So you'd probably be held outside of Manchester, but we're not doing that. We're just going to come in. There's the Granada TV offices. So like most of this land and stuff now is big massive skyscrapers. It's not empty like this, no. This bridge above us, I believe, is where the Metrolink goes now, towards Trafford. And this line on the other side of the bridge, this line is the line that you'll all probably know from Liverpool to Manchester via, what's it called? Via Warrington Central. There are quite actually a few routes from Liverpool to Manchester. I know there's the one via Newton, Llewellyn this way. Then there's the one via Warrington Central. You could technically go up to Wigan North Western on a Liverpool train and jump on a Manchester one from Wigan. So that's another way you could do it. There's loads of ways you can get from Manchester to Liverpool or Liverpool to Manchester. So while we are due in so early, we are just gonna just stick at 20 all the way through. I need to make sure I don't stop at Manchester Oxford Road, because when I practiced this run I did, and like a right pleb. Sailing through Manchester Oxford Road, or Leighton Stepford Road for the SCR fans. Obviously that last station would have been Rocket Parade. Now that got me first time, because I thought this signal was for us, but it's not, it's actually for that track. Our signal's up there. And normally train drivers would speed up to 35 down here, but while we're due in so early, we're due in like 5 minutes early, we are just going to coast in like 20 miles an hour. I do love this line coming into Manchester, because it's just like this massive, like, you just like run over the road sort of thing. It's quite cool. It's just so squashed in. Yeah, just gonna speed up a bit faster than 10 though, because we'll be here till next week otherwise. So we are approaching Manchester Piccadilly platform 13. So then obviously the driver will jump in the back, or another driver will come and take the 150 up to Holyhead or Llandudno or Wrexham, wherever it was going, via these set of points here. Or it might even go not in service to Manchester Airport and then do a Manchester Airport service. Don't know. Yeah, just going to bring it to a halt though. We'll just stop about the end of this wall. About here. And here we are. So I would like to say, on that note, I did get the back end of the train on it, so yeah. I would like to say, on this massive journey that we've just taken, I would like to say thank you all for watching. I hope you have watched all the way through. If you have, well done. It's been a long journey. I think it's been about just over 3 hours, about 5 minutes I think. So I'd like to say thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next train simulator on the video. See you in the next one. Bye.